I mean, I think you're an amazing bloke, and we see you around the church doing all sorts of different jobs, and it's an amazing thing to see.
You haven't seen me on my 4th and 5th morning when Karen's trying to rouse me and get me just to have a cup of tea or something like that. That's when I'm about at my worst.
What has your faith in Jesus meant to you over the last couple of years?
Well, a great deal, because I mean, I had a technical education, and I know that I'm being kept alive by cutting edge medicine, and I believe that God has put people on this world who can figure out how to make these medicines work and can apply them to people. So I don't believe that the consultant and the nurses that look after me are there because they're clever only. I believe they're there because they are what they are, and because God has put them there, not necessarily for just me, but for people in my situation. And I'll give you what I think is the perfect example. About 4.5 years ago, the medicine that I was on basically stopped working, and the consultant said, well, there's not a lot more we can do, so I'm afraid we'll just keep looking at you, but you've got about 2 years to go. That's now approaching 5 years ago, and what happened was that shortly after he said that, and Karen and myself had prayed for, some way forward, he rang up and said, there's a drug called Avastin, which is a monoclonal antibody, which has just been released by NICE for treatment of your condition. I think before it was used for breast cancer. And that's basically what's kept me going, along with other things since then. And so that was a true answer to prayer. I mean, I was desperate. I thought, well, I've got 2 years to go now. And suddenly, out of the mouth of the consultant is something that we'd prayed for, which was, we found a drug that now has just been cleared, that could, we hope, do something for you, and it's kept me going for this length of time. I'm still on it now.
Yeah. And you have, I know you've talked to me a few times before about, you've had some quite powerful times of prayer with people, haven't you, where you've had some quite experiences as part of that prayer time.
I have. I mean, when I was on the Alpha course here 2 years ago, it's very difficult for me to explain this, because the sort of engineer in me said, no, that can't have happened, with everything in my body, and my faith tells me it did. And we were praying, and somebody started praying for my health, and suddenly I found myself in the River Jordan speaking to Jesus. Now that might seem to a lot of people, from somebody who has been an engineer and accountant for all his life, to be an odd thing to say. And I found it very difficult to start off with, to even talk to Isabel about it, because Isabel came round afterwards, and I didn't actually tell her everything, because I suppose I was still trying to work it out in my own mind. But now I don't question it anymore. As far as I'm concerned, I met Jesus in the River Jordan, and if anybody wants to question that, that's fine, but I'm not. It's as simple as that.
That was your experience of that prayer time, well, I mean, I think you're a real testament to the power of prayer, and it's wonderful to see you doing all the things that you do here.
Well,
and
I do believe that because God and prayer has been so powerful in my life, that it's my duty to tell people that prayer works. I won't say that Jesus is saying you've got to go out there and tell people that prayer works, but there's something inside me that keeps saying, just keep pushing the message. Prayer works, and you've proved it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing with us tonight, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we should give him a round of applause.